This is Barbara Lewis, and she's with the NASA Johnson Space Center Education. What? That's it? That's
Yep.
the name of it?
That's the name of it.
Okay, so what does NASA Johnson Space Center Education do?
Johnson Space Center Education is made up and comprised of a number of different little organizations that do everything from educator development workshops. We bring classroom science into the classroom through video conferencing. And then we also do general outreach into the schools, into public forums and conferences where we talk to teachers and general public about the science that's being done on space station, the benefits for humanity, and how that's going to continue our exploration into deep space.
So you're kind of out there telling kids and teachers, here's why we need to continue supporting the space program, right? That's kind of the...
That's exactly right. That's exactly what we're doing. So the space station gives us a unique opportunity to do science in microgravity. And so there's a lot of different things that happen that can be done in that lab. So Congress established the International Space Station as a national laboratory. And so now scientists and researchers can do their investigations on the space station with the astronauts performing the science, and they can see how their science performs differently in microgravity. We've been able to enhance medical treatments. We've been able to improve fire protection and understand the chemical balances of things and just how things work in space and to improve things in life on Earth.
So we've gotten more from this than just Teflon, right? Because
Absolutely.
I remember growing up, it was always, what did we get from from the NASA program? Teflon. We've got Teflon. So talk to me a little bit about what teachers can get from the Johnson Space Center Education Program. So if I'm a teacher in El Paso, Texas, what can I get?
You know, what teachers can get in El Paso, Texas, is they can actually get NASA to come into their classroom. We have a product called the Digital Learning Network.
The Digital Learning Network, okay.
And that network actually provides teleconferencing courses. We can do seminars and kits for the students to learn about space and chemistry and what's going on space station and what NASA's doing. They can also do teacher development courses through this same thing, and all the school needs to have is the ability to do video conferencing, and NASA will come to you and help you fix the rest of it
So is
up.
it video conferencing, like high-end video conferencing, or can it be Skype?
It can be Skype. Yeah,
Okay.
it can absolutely be Skype
Okay.
available. So, and that's not available just at Johnson Space Center. It's actually available at Goddard Space Flight Center, Marshall Space Flight Center, and then JPL. And so, depending upon the type of science and the research that you want to put into the classroom, that NASA can actually help bring that to you.
So I think a lot of people, because they associate the Johnson Space Center with the Houston area, and they think that only schools and school districts and teachers in the Houston area get those benefits. So that's wrong?
That's absolutely wrong. Actually, Johnson Space Center, along with all the other space centers, is taking a very proactive approach to trying to reach as many schools and as many teachers all over the country that we can do it. We have a number of different programs that teachers can go out to the NASA website and they can research those different programs available to them. We have ISS Ham Radio, which is a wonderful program. It's a volunteer with the ARIS, which is Amateur Radio on ISS. So a lot of people know what a ham radio is.
Right.
And then
Not a lot of kids know what a ham radio is.
That's correct. And so anyway, that technology, which was actually initially used to be a backup communications method for ISS, well, they now use it. Astronauts call down, and the students get to actually have a conversation and ask these astronauts questions about life, living, science, all those investigations that they're doing on space station. And they get about a 10-minute pass, and sometimes it's direct and sometimes it's indirect, and that's where the ham radio operators come in and they assist the school in that contact.
So, Barbara, back behind your left shoulder there is a thing about educator professional development opportunities. Can you tell us a little bit about what Johnson Space Center provides in the form of educator professional development opportunities?
Absolutely.
How's that for? I did that without breathing too. That's pretty good, huh?
That's absolutely wonderful. So NASA offers opportunities for educators to come in and do their professional development within NASA. They offer courses and classes where the teachers can come in and they can help with curriculum development, and they can come on site and work with the NASA educators. They can attend courses. They can either do it virtually through the digital learning network, or they can actually apply to come down to NASA and organize that. And they can learn all types of different organizations.
Okay, so if they can apply to come to NASA, to come down, do they have to pay to get there, or does NASA pay for them to get there?
You know, they have a number of different opportunities, and some of those opportunities are actually scholarshiped. So I would tell them to go actually out to the website and look for this collaboration. It's the EPDC.
EPDC.
Yes, which is the Professional Development Collaboration.
Okay.
And if they do an internet search on that, they can look at all those opportunities and see and apply for scholarships available for them.
See, because I think one of the issues is, if you're in Houston or if you're in the surrounding area, it's a lot easier to get to the Johnson Space Center for professional development opportunities than it is if you're in El Paso or Lubbock or Amarillo, because that's not cheap to get from one site to another. But you said because they now have virtual opportunities as well,
That's
right?
correct. That's why they initiated the virtual opportunities, is to have a greater reach. And the education professional development, like I said earlier, NASA, the education program is made up of a number of different areas. And so the education development part is actually hosted by another organization. And I really focus most of my outreach on the ISS and the science research. And so that's why I would ask them to go and research that online and do an internet search and contact now Johnson Space Center about that.
So there's lots and lots of opportunities available. It's just a matter of people going out and accessing them, right?
Absolutely.
So there's billions and billions of opportunities, just as many opportunities as there are stars in the sky, right?
Well, we would like to think that. So, you know, we try to offer and reach to each and one of those teachers and the educations and the school systems that are interested in bringing science and you know, just making the importance of what STEM education is. And NASA really wants to be a part of that, and it's our main focus. So we try everything. And this International Space Station is a marvelous satellite. It's a piece of collaboration between a number of different countries. And so it's important for us to show students how, one, we can collaborate internationally around the world, as well as have the technology and development.
Yeah, I don't think people look at it as a learning opportunity. They don't look at it as a teaching tool, but it really is.
It is really a teaching tool, and it's a learning tool. So it's not just scientists doing their investigations that are learning about it, but students and teachers and general public are being inspired by the accomplishments that we're making on the International Space Station.
Barbara Lewis, if someone was interested in getting information about the NASA Johnson Space Center education programs, where do they go?
They can go to nasa.gov.
NASA.gov, there's not a specific Johnson Space Center one?
They can go to STEM on Station.
STEM on Station?
Yes.
And they'll find you?
They will find contact information that'll end up reaching me or one of our other professional development educators.
All right, thanks for talking.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.